Joining us now, Congressman Tim Burchett. Okay, Congressman, you just heard Hillary Vaughn's report. Congressman, the president is not the president of just the far left. He's the president of the United States of America, right? So when you see that the far left is now saying the battle plan is accuse oil and gas of price gouging, go after oil and gas companies, shut down, but now they want the president to do an executive order to attack U.S. energy, shut down fossil fuels, ban drilling on any leased land, and they're going to try to blame gas prices going up on oil and gas companies. That's their lame battle plan now going forward. Do you think the American people will fall for it?
No way. No way, Liz. All we need to do is point our campaign cameras at the gas pumps, and that's all we really have to do. You know, they keep saying we need this Marshall Plan for this. We don't need a Marshall Plan. We don't need Eisenhower's interstate, and we don't need warp speed. That was a problem that was already there, and we were trying to solve it. We've already got the answer. It's called turn the spigots back on. Go back under what the Trump administration did. Start exporting energy like we did 1 year ago when we didn't have these problems. We didn't have spiking gas prices.
You know, Jamie Dimon at JPMorgan Chase, it just sounds like he's frustrated. His Marshall Plan, he's saying he wants more liquefied natural gas facilities in Europe. He wants reduced reliance on Russian imports and investments in new technology like hydrogen, also carbon capture. He said it at a meeting with the Treasury Secretary and 16 executives, including from the big oil companies. But, you know, this whole far left progressive caucus, what they're doing is, you know, they talk a big game about democracy, but they sent a memo to the president saying, yeah, do an end run, circumvent Congress, do an executive order, basically declare a national climate emergency and, you know, basically cripple U.S. domestic energy, production. That's the battle plan. That's what's going on behind the scenes in Washington.
The trouble we have is when liberals tell us what they're going to do, we ought to start believing them. Joe Biden said this during the debate, if you remember, when he tried to run to the left of Bernie Sanders and said he wants gas at $7 a gallon. He wants to shut the oil industry down. And that's exactly what the far left is going to do. And they know the American public is aware. They know the elections are going to roll around. They know Kevin McCarthy is going to be the next Speaker of the House. And they know he's not going to stand for those shenanigans. And they're trying to cram it through as fast as they can through executive order, hook or crook. That's what they're trying to do. You're exactly right, ma'am.
Is there any indication the president will do it?
Well, look what he's done before. I mean, whoever's running the White House, I don't think it's Joe Biden. I think we need to talk to his chief of staff. We've got a real problem there. I think he's continuously run to the left on everything. He ran as a moderate. He said, I'm a moderate, and yet every program that he's put forward has been to the far left. So as I said, when these people tell us they're left wing, we ought to start believing them, because that's exactly what the heck they're going to do. And dadgummit, the American public can't stand it anymore.
Yeah, Emerson College, a new poll found 4 out of 10 blame the president for high gas prices. 8 out of 10 say they face financial hardship because inflation is destroying any wage gains, wiping out their wage gains. You know, Senator John Thune has said to the White House, stop attacking U.S. energy. We need an all-the-above American energy strategy. Make America energy independent. But the White House has got companies spending more on things like the SEC, forcing companies to make new disclosures about climate risks. The Labor Department and Democrats want our retirement funds to invest for climate change. It should be about retirement income. So the lack of focus, it's all over the map. Again and again, the president runs the country. He doesn't run just the far left.
I agree. And these bankers, I mean, they're reaping what they sow. They supported a bunch of liberal candidates out of Nancy Pelosi's inner circle, and they got the National Chamber of Commerce supporting these people, and that's what we've got, and that's why we're seeing what we've got now. They owe these people. They got them in the White House. Now they got to pay them back, and this is how they're paying them back with these crazy programs. And frankly, nobody believes it. Nobody thinks it's going to work.
Yeah, it can be easily reversed too. Congressman Burchett, it's great to have you on. Come back soon.